labor rate matrix. So from my enterprise setup, on my left panel, just below labor rates, we have a matrix. So once you do have your rates set up, you can set a labor rate matrix to have the system automatically mark up labor rates depending on maybe a type of job or a set of jobs that you're doing. You can be kind of general or you can be very specific. So in order to make this work, the first thing you have to do is create a matrix. We'll go up to the top ribbon to add, and let's go create a matrix for our fleet accounts. So labor rate, I can select a specific rate that I want to create the matrix for. I can have it apply to any labor rate or again a specific one, and we're going to use fleet as an example. We're going to give this a name. We'll just call it our fleet matrix. You can put a little description in. Once we have that, we're going to set up the matrix itself. So to create a matrix, you first hit add, and you want to start with your base. So I want to start with my base rate, which is going to be a factor of 1. In other words, I'm not going to mark it up. Now I add a second line. So once I start to add the second line, now I need to tell the system how many hours, at what point on the hours, do I want to start marking up the labor rate. So let's say whenever I hit 2 hours or more, I want it to mark up 10%. So that would be a rate of 1.1. So from 0 to 2 hours, it's going to use my base rate. From 2 hours up, it will use the 1.1. Now you can put as many different levels as you want here. Let's just add another level. So let's say at 4 hours, I want to mark it up 1.25. And you can take that as far as you need to go. Now again, this is a stair stepper, so it's going to be exact until it hits that mark, and then it automatically moves up. You can also do this as a linear. A linear, it'll just double whatever your top end labor hours are. And now you have a sliding scale. The locations tab, you're going to tell the system, where do you want this matrix to be used? You're going to go down and hit select locations. You can pick all of your locations, but what if you just have a specific location you want to use this at? You just simply check the box, hit OK, and now I'm going to send that out to location 3. So here I have my matrix. It's tied to the fleet labor rate. It is on a linear scale, and it's going to be from my standard rate up to 106.25. Once I have my matrix set, I have to give it a rule. Again, rules are going to tell the system how does it work or when to apply it. So we're going to add. We're going to find our fleet rate. Now you notice as soon as I pick fleet matrix, it automatically defaulted to that labor rate code. That's because we have it working off of that specific rate. Now I can leave it just as it is. It will just automatically work across the board on all jobs that I do anytime I'm using that particular rate on a contact or a vehicle. What if I want to be a little bit more specific? I can select service category. So if I want to apply to a specific category, I certainly can just by clicking it. I can use code. Anytime I code a service package, I might have a specific code for a package or group of packages. I can go by a title of a package. If I go to the second part of this, description and tag, these are the actual labor lines themselves. So if I use description, I have to be very specific here. It has to be a specific word or wording, and it has to match exactly on the work order, the labor line on the work order. And I can tag a labor line. So we'll use this as an example. We have the fleet rate going to this particular category. Well, once we select OK, we have our rule in place. And again, you can make several rules. If I wanted to do several service categories, I would make a rule for each category. Once I have everything set, I save it, and now it's ready to go. So let's go over to location 3 and see how this works. So here I am at location 3. I'm in the setup. I have my fleet matrix coming over from the enterprise. Again, gray shaded background means enterprise. And my rule. So if I go over to a work order, here I have a work order 55. This particular customer, and let's go look at the contact details real quick, is set up with the fleet rate. Let's go add a couple of jobs. So if I add a job from this category, oil lube maintenance, the matrix should apply. So I'm going to click, we're going to add. We will not need to do that there. And let's go add a job from a different category. Let's say we're going to do a general service here. So we've added a maintenance general service from the oil lube maintenance category. If I open the labor line by double clicking, you'll see the matrix is automatically applied. So again, depending on my rules, how they're set up and what the rate is, let's say I have 2 hours of labor, it's going to be at $85 an hour. If I go over that, the matrix automatically starts to apply. See, now I'm at 89.25. So the higher I go, the more it charges. Once I reach the top part, it'll stop at 106.25. My wheels is a completely different category. It's coming from the tires and wheels. So when I look at the labor line here, see there is no matrix. So no matter how many hours I put here, it will stay at $85 per hour. So that's how you set up a matrix. That's how you apply it. And this is how it works on a work order.